Welcome to Rebel Life Boxing, where I talk boxing and anything in between. Make sure to catch new videos daily at 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. Also catch an early bird video weekdays at 6 a.m. Support the channel, and thanks for watching. So let's get into another Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford video. I know I said I wasn't really going to touch on this matter. Well, I'm really not. I'm not talking about the fight anymore. That's done. Because it's pretty much looking like that's never going to happen. So another great fight slipped through our hands in the world of boxing. Sad, very sad, man. Money ruins everything, man. But I think, to me, it's more than just money, man. Money is just masking the true reason why this fight is not going to happen. And I think it got a lot to do with fear from both ends and some other things mixed in. But won't get into that anymore. It is what it is. You know, we live in an age of prima donnas and divas. Let me just leave it there. Not just Errol Spence, not just Terence Crawford. A whole bunch of boxers are doing the same thing. And the fans are the ones getting robbed, getting slapped in the face. But nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's protesting it. So as long as everybody's sitting back taking all of this mess, it'll never change. It'll only get worse. But I thought, hey, why not just talk about Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford's resumes? Because that comes up a lot when people on both sides, you know, the fanboys for both fighters, they always talk about resumes. And then that starts bringing up the issue with the money and the split, if they ever fought, who deserves what. Bud doesn't deserve this. Errol doesn't deserve that. Bud deserves this. Yada, yada, yada. So we're going to go off of the narrative of resumes. And let's look through Errol Spence's resume. Let's look through Terence Crawford's resume. And let's compare them. Let's see who has the best resume. I know a lot of people already figured out who might have the best resume, but let's just go through it anyway. And this is just my opinion. Yours may differ, and that's fine. So let's start with Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence, he has a record of 27 wins, no losses, 21 KOs. Errol Spence KO rating ratio was 77%. He's been pro since 2012. He's a southpaw, 5'9", 72-inch reach. So we're going to go back to Errol Spence's first fight, and what we're going to do is we're going to pick out his notable fights from the okay names to the good names. We're going to bundle them all up and then tally them and see how many he come up with. Errol Spence's first fight was at 154 against Jonathan Garcia, which happens to be the third Garcia on his resume. Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, and Jonathan Garcia. The last two being great names on his resume. So, Jonathan Garcia is a nobody, pretty much. Richard Andrews, Nathan Butcher, Luis Torres, Brandon Hoskins, Guillermo Ibarra, Eddie Cordova, Jesus Tavara. His first notable name happens to come at 147 at Emmanuel Larte. That is the first fight that you will see Errol Spence really get cracked. And that's the fight where you saw him he kind of did a funny dance when he got hit, but he was spaghetti-legged all over the ring. He gained his composure, came back and whooped him. All right, so Emmanuel Larte is an okay name for him. So we're going to give him Emmanuel Larte. Let's go up some more. Gerardo Cuevas, which is 17-11. Peter Olok, Raymond Charles, Ron Cruz, Noel Bolanos, Francisco Javier Castro. Now the next one after Larte would be Samuel Vargas, which is a good name on his resume. He was 20-1 when he fought Errol Spence. Then Phil LaGreco is an okay name. Wasn't the best, but okay. So that's 3. Chris Van Heerden was a good name. 4. Alejandro Barrera, I'll give him that one. 5. Chris Algieri, a great name on his resume. That's 6. And mind you, Chris Van Heerden was at 154. He fought him and Phil Greco. Sam Vargas was at 147. Then he jumped up again to 154. Then moved back down to 147 for Alejandro Barra. So we got Larte, Vargas, Phil Greco, Chris Van Heerden, Barrera, Chris Algieri, and then Leonard Bundu was a good name as well. That's 7. Then Kell Brook was a great name. That's 8. He won his first title from Kell Brook. Lamont Peterson was 9. That was his first title defense. Ocampo was a no-name. I mean, he just happened to be 22-0, but he wasn't nobody really of any significance. Just as mandatory. So then Mikey Garcia was a great name. That's 10. Sean Porter is 12. And Danny Garcia would be 13. So let's start again. Let me make sure I didn't lose count here. We got Larte, Vargas, Phil Greco, Van Heerden, Barrera, Chris Algieri, Bundu, Kell Brook, Peterson, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia. Right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 notable names from okay to great names on Errol Spence's resume. Most of those names were at 147. So that's 12 for Errol Spence. Let's go to Terence Crawford's resume now and take a look. All right, we got Terence Crawford. He is 37 wins, no losses for Terence Crawford. 28 knockouts. The Terence Crawford's knockout ratio is slightly lower than Errol Spence, 75%. Doesn't mean he doesn't have power or anything like that. That's just what it is. It just so happens because that happens where I guess his is more spread out. He has more fights than Errol. So the more fights you go, and then that adds some unanimous decisions in 12-round fights, and they'll slightly lower your KO ratio. That's all that is. So Terence Crawford has 208 rounds under his belt. Definitely has more experience than Errol Spence. He's been active since '08. He's been pro. 33 years old. Switch hitter. 5'8", 74-inch reach. So a little shorter than Errol Spence. Has the reach over Errol, though. So let's go back to Terence Crawford's first pro fight. His first pro fight was a guy named Brian Cummings at 140. Nobody of his significance. So we got Filiberto Nieto, Damon Anton. When he fought him, he was 8-25. Aaron Anderson, some dude that is now, oh man, God, look at this dude's record. He is 3-48. My man have 3 wins, 48 losses, man. What the fuck? That is what you call a journey, man. All right, so we got Michael Williams, Travis Hartman, Lucas Rodas, Miguel Delgado, Steve Marquez, Corey Somerville, Marty Robbins was 23-45 when he fought Bud. Ron Boyd, Anthony Mora, Derek Campos, Angel Rios, Andre Gorges, David Rodella, Hardy Paredes, Sidney Sequoia. So for all these years, Bud didn't really have anybody of any significance on his name until he got up to 2013 when he fought Bradis Prescott. That was his first real notable fighter. So we got Bradis Prescott. Next, Alejandro Sanabria. He fought for the WBO vacant NABO light title. Okay. So I'll put him on the resume. I'll put Andre Klimov. Nah, not putting him on there. So let me see. 1, 2. Ricky Burns is definitely a name on this record. That's 3. Yurikas Gamboa is 4. Raymondo Beltran. 5. Thomas Delorme, 6. Thierry John, 7. Hank Lundy, 8. Victor Posto, definitely, 9. John Molina, 10. Felix Diaz, 11. Julius Ndongo, 12, right? So that was his last fight at 140, and he became undisputed when he took the belts from Julius Ndongo. So Jeff Horn, I don't want to call Jeff Horn a name, man. I don't, he's not really, he didn't ring any bells. Pacquiao, big deal. That's about it. But that fight was a little sketchy to me, if you want me to be honest. So I don't really consider Jeff Horn a big name on his resume like that. So Jose Benavidez, he was okay. You can give him Benavidez. Amir Khan was a name. Mean Machine, Kell Brook. Okay, so Terence Crawford overall has about 13, 14 people with okay to great names on his resume, no matter the division. So if we want to talk about if these dudes was to fight and go into the table and we are going off of who gets the lion's share of the split simply because of resume, you would have to put Terence Crawford on top of Errol Spence. But not by much, because when you remove the okay fighters, the okay names, you would see that Errol Spence and Terence Crawford's resumes are almost, like, to me, that's just my personal opinion. Their resumes, when you remove the okay fighters and just keep the great ones or the good names up there, you would have to give them both the edge, almost neck and neck, So I would say Terence Crawford's last 5 opponents, Kell Brook, Mean Machine, Amir Khan, Jose Benavidez, and Jeff Horn, they definitely let's compare them real quick. So we got Kell Brook, Mean Machine, Amir Khan, Jose Benavidez, Jeff Horn. Let's just say we was going to the table. They said, okay, we gonna see which one of you guys' resumes, last 5 fighters. Whoever has the best fighters on their resume, the last 5, y'all get the lion's share of the fight split. So let's go back to Errol Spence last 5 fights. Right, we got Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Mikey Garcia, Carlos Ocampo, and Lamont Peterson. So you be the judge, and you figure that out. You got Danny Garcia and Kell Brook. Those was Errol and Bud's last fights. I would have to give Danny Garcia as being a better fighter than Kell Brook, man. Slightly, man. I don't know. No, I gotta give Kell Brook that. Kell Brook to me is a better fighter than Danny Garcia, man. So I would have to give that one to Terence Crawford. And then you got Sean Porter was the fight before Danny Garcia, and then Mean Machine, I believe, was Bud's last fight. Got to give that to fucking Errol Spence. So you got 1-1 right there. Then Mikey Garcia, Amir Khan. So you got to give that to Errol, because Mike Garcia is a much better fighter than Amir Khan. Ocampo, Jose Benavidez, I'll get at the Bud. Benavidez better than Ocampo, in my opinion. Then you got Lamont Peterson, and Jeff Horn. You gotta give Lamont Peterson the edge. So, see, that's what I'm saying. Them when you take away their last 5, they would have to get split. If you're gonna go by resumes and like names and who's the better fighter, who had the better comp for the last 5 dudes, they would have to get a 50-50 split, man. The way I'm looking at it from my point of view. Y'all be the judge, man. You let me know what y'all think about these dudes. Who has the better resume overall, Terence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr.? Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all later on the next one. Peace.